President of the Supreme Court, Justice Esther Chayut and David Chayut, Yifat Levin, the wife of member of Knesset Yariv Levin, my partner in the formation of this national unity government, member of Knesset, Benny Gantz, and his wife Revital. Benny, we worked together in Operation Protective Edge, I as Prime Minister and you as the Chief of Staff, to protect the citizens of Israel in a campaign there has been no more just than it. I'm convinced that we shall work together successfully in this unity government for the sake of our country. Ministers of the outgoing government, ministers of the incoming government position, Yair Lapid, members of Knesset, honored guests. This is an important day for the state of Israel. The new government was formed pursuant to the will of most of the citizens of Israel, and it will serve all citizens of Israel, Jews and non-Jews alike. Out of profound responsibility, Benny Gantz and I have chosen to work to form an emergency and national unity government and prevent an extra round of elections. In just 1 year, the state of Israel went through 3 rounds of elections. They deepened the polarization in our nation. They extracted a heavy price from the national purse. The additional cost to the market would have been some 2 billion shekels, and that's not to talk of the enormous damage to the stability of the economy and international confidence in our economy. How have so many leaders, including the President of the United States, told me, what's happening to you there? In contrast, the additional cost of the unity government, and I'm not belittling it, is 85 million shekels a year. This is so much less than the cost of extra elections. If we were to go to 4th elections now, that would have been the true waste of money. That would have been the outrageous abuse of money. We would have also had to delay, address coronavirus to an unknown date, and so members of Knesset. So it's no wonder that the overwhelming majority in the public welcomes this unity government. The public wants a unity government, and this is what the public is receiving today. I must acknowledge, I think you've all seen it. How did the old sketch? How did the sketch say? The challenge was extremely complicated until the last minute. All the participants of the government, but first and foremost, members of my party, the Likud, which of any party ever in the history of this country. Everyone had to compromise and make painful, even very painful concessions. But we have chosen to serve the people together because of the pressing needs of the hour. And indeed, the time is pressing on us. The global coronavirus crisis is destabilizing countries. It has claimed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people all around the world. We've seen the pandemic, we've seen the danger, and so we decided together to put our divisions aside and to stand shoulder to shoulder, facing the majors as us in health, the economy, and society. In the field of health, the steps that we have taken What is non-Jews? What is non-Jews? I'm calling on you, Mr. Tibby. Please be quiet. In the field of health, the steps that we've taken have been enormously successful. We've saved many lives. We mourn each of the citizens who've died in the last few months, and we send our condolences to their families. Only yesterday, listen well, only yesterday in Britain, in one day, nearly double the number of people died in one day. The reason that Israel escaped this, the reason that Israel, the caseload is falling. Next time you're out, stop interrupting the Prime Minister's speech. You can interrupt, but not during this speech. I heard you, I heard you. It's Egypt here, Egypt. The reason that the situation is different in Israel is because of steps that we took place in time, closing off the skies, quarantine at home, curfews across the country, and of course, also thanks to citizens of Israel who listened to the instructions of the health ministry and to the our wonderful medical teams. But the campaign is not yet over. Nobody knows whether we are in a temporary drop, and this will only come to an end when there is actually a vaccine for the virus, and until then the virus is still here. See that a transcontinental second wave of the coronavirus will strike us. We'll visit the world and Israel as well, as happened with the Spanish flu 100 years ago. Therefore, the first step that the unity government will take is to establish a coronavirus cabinet in order to provide a response for the second wave. By the same token, we will deal with the huge economic challenge ahead of us. We'll have to pass a responsible, agreed-upon budget. And as someone who's passed more than 10 budgets, I can tell you that this will budget a budget that will protect, that will prevent the economy from collapsing, that will guarantee stability, that will restore growth, a budget that will give you, citizens of Israel, hope and a horizon in restoring three things: places of work, places of work, places of work. Jobs, jobs, jobs. We've already invested a great deal. Members of Knesset, don't interrupt. Just don't interrupt. There's an illusion that for new members of Knesset, you've disappeared. You remember one of them, I'm sure. But they didn't stay, so I can only give you this personal advice from my years and lots of experience. I can tell you, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Members of Knesset, we've already invested enormous resources. Member of Knesset Kasif. Member of Knesset Kasif. Leave the hall now. I'm asking you not to interfere. I'm asking you not to interfere. Invested huge resources to help the self-employed and small businesses. Come, and I want you to know that this concern is also our top priority. The new economic situation to what it was before, although in the time of Corona it's not clear what exactly the global economy will look like and our national economy, but we'll do the best that we can to try to restore it to what it was before. In the field of defense, we'll continue to thwart threats against the state of Israel, I can tell you. including from the last few days, that these threats have not paused for even a single day in the age of Corona. We will lead the struggle against people who seek our ill, and we shall take no hesitations in acting against them, both within and beyond our borders, their borders. We'll continue an uncompromising fight and in its attempts to acquire nuclear weapons. As such, we shall also fight in recent times to accuse IDF soldiers of war crimes and to accuse Israel of the terrible crime in speech mark, quote, in Gilo and returning to Shiloh, to Bet El and Hebron. What hypocrisy. Here is the truth. You're afraid of international justice. That's why you're talking like this. Settlements. Thank you. Thank you. What hypocrisy. What a distortion of the truth. And here is the truth. This land was the cradle of the birth of the Jewish people. And it is time to apply Israeli law and to write a glorious... There's nothing glorious about it. Will bring peace closer. Because peace can only be based on the truth. Our brothers and sisters will always remain where they are. Even people in this chamber recognize that fact. Apartheid. There won't be peace. Apartheid. I'm calling you to order a second time. I'm calling you to order. There will not be peace with occupation and apartheid. And it's also time that anyone who believes in the rightfulness of our presence in the land of Israel will join my government in order to lead a historical process together. Say this another time because it's important. So no one in this chamber, including to my friends in the national camp. The whole is only on the agenda because I personally worked to promote it over the space of 3 years, openly and not. This with Secretary of State in the United States, Mike Pompeo, last week. I hugely appreciated his visit in Israel, the only foreign visit he has made during the time of Corona. And I also appreciate his statement against the ICC, which has been persecuting Israel with outrageous false allegations. We brought the alliance between Israel and the United States to new heights during the tenure of our friend President Trump. I am full of appreciation and gratitude for this. Gratitude is to the United States and the huge support that it gives us, and you cannot. The basic principle that I've been emphasizing for years. Israel's security, ability to defend ourselves by ourselves against any threat. IDF and the security forces, and from here I wish to convey our huge gratitude. Podium. I make a prayer for our success, for unity. In our ancient history, we stood at junctures at which we used violence against each other, and we paid a price for it. And anyone who knows Israel's history knows how true this is. We paid a terrible price for this. I would like to believe that we've learned the necessary lessons. More than 72 years ago, we joined forces to set up the State of Israel on the eve of the Six-Day War. Levi Eshkol and Menachem Begin formed the first emergency government, also termed unity government. 17-year major economic crisis. Shamir and Peres set up the second unity government. And now, once again, we are duty-bound to work which Jews wish to come to their promised land. I must say, safe with open arms. I also want to thank my partners in the national camp for the work we've done together to date, and I hope that another party shall also join us. But above all, I want to thank you, citizens of Israel, for giving your confidence in me and my new government once more. We are embarking on this journey full of a sense of mission in the name of the people and on behalf of the people. And another personal word. Maybe members of Knesset will deign to let me speak for the fifth time that I'm standing here. Port. Also, crimes. This is the of forming a government in Israel. I do so with a huge sense of respect for you, citizens of Israel. Many people ask me when they watch us here, when they watch everything can be watched outside, where do you get the strength from, they ask me. Where do you get the strength from to work in these not so simple conditions, to put it mildly? Many people ask me to work in these difficult circumstances. My family and I face day in, day out, hour by hour, been through some difficult days, but also wonderful national solidarity. We saw the spirit of the people of Israel at its finest, and perhaps this empty words, I'll continue working. Where do I get the strength from? I gain the strength from my beloved wife, Sarah, from my wonderful sons, Yair and Avner. I gain my strength from the traditions of our nation and the heritage of our forefathers. And I also am referring to the heritage of simple fathers and mothers, the heritage of my mother Tzila, born in the Moshav of Petach Tikva, who experienced the death of her eldest son, my beloved brother Yonatan, in the campaign to the operation to free the hostages in Entebbe, and I gained strength from the legacy of my father to the study in an unforgettable about the Iranian nuclear threat we've made together to fight the coronavirus crisis. My father said, the people of Israel shows the world how a nation should act when facing danger. It must look danger in the eye and look at what needs to be done and what can be done. I have unreserved confidence, he said, that our people will fight off the danger. That's what we did, and that's what we will continue to do. This is the mission of my life, to guarantee our existence and our future for generations and generations. Members of Knesset, I'm proud to present the government I've formed by alphabetical order. Rabbi Yaakov Avitan, Minister of Religion, Rohana, Internal Security Minister, Ze'ev Elkin, the Minister for Higher Education and Complementary Education, and the Minister for Water Affairs. David Amsalem. I'm asking you to stop. I won't say it again. We heard you. Thank you very much. David Amsalem, the minister responsible for liaison between the government and the Knesset, and the Minister of Cyber and National Digital and the company's Gilad Erdan, the Minister for Regional Cooperation. When he goes, Rakunis will take his place. Yoav Galat, Minister of Dairy, Interior and Development of the Periphery, Negev and Galilee. Tzipi Chotoveli, the Minister of Settlements and National Service and Special Pre-Military Academies. Eli Cohen, Minister of Intelligence. Israel Katz, Finance Minister. Yaakov Litzman, Construction and Housing. Orly Levy Abukassis, the Strengthening and Advancement of Communities Minister. Rafi Peretz, the Minister of Jerusalem and Heritage. Mary Regev, the Minister of Transportation and Road Safety. Yuval Steinitz, the Minister of Energy. Tzachi Negbi, a minister. And in a few months, when Tzipi Chotoveli goes on a diplomatic posting, he'll be the settlement minister. Minister with connections to the alternate Prime Minister. Gabi Ashkenazi, Yoaz Hendel, Communications Minister. Asaf Zamir, Sport. Omer Yankelevich, Diaspora. Mirav Cohen, Minorities Minister. Avi Nissenkoren, Justice Minister. Amir Peretz, Economy Minister.
לכל דבר יש בלעיר, אני מבקש להיות בשקט. הייתה לך לקרוא אותך בצלם פעם ראשונה.
Orit Farkas-Cohen, the Minister for Strategic Affairs. Alon Schuster, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. Yisrael Shai, Minister of Science and Technology. Itzik Shmuli, the Minister of Work and Welfare and Social Services. Pnina Tamano-Shata, the rotation between the Prime Minister and the 5772. I would like Mr. Prime Minister and members of Knesset